Hello, welcome back to the Mover Mailbag for subscribers live and then probably everybody else later. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I always say that because it's always a while since I've done one of these. Post office is always fun to go to, which I went to the post office today. There was nothing there. And then I got a notification like right before I started this that a package had been delivered. So whoever sent me something from stamps.com, I apologize. It's not going to be on this one, but I do have some mail and some apologies and some stuff to go through. So we'll go through the physical mail and answer any questions that you have. JD says, hey there, looks like we're monetized again. This channel was always monetized, thankfully. The Mover and Gonky show was not for a month, 32 days, and now it is again. So we're very happy about that. But yeah. But what's up, Dan? It was really cool that you messaged about your friend that was on the fire rescue team at the Toronto mishap. That's crazy. I mean, just wild. Garrett says, what's up? Not to start on a sore subject, but what did you think of the 500? You know, every year NASCAR fans complain about the Daytona 500, right? It's the greatest track in racing, I think. And there's always this big complaint because, you always have the big wrecks and stuff like that. And it's because of the restrictor plate. I mean, it's the restrictor plate, the aero packages and stuff. And it seems like the answer they always have, instead of going back to like a 750 horsepower package or six something, is to change the aero, and that changes how they draft. I wish they'd just do more horsepower. I mean, make it a race car again. Like no street car should have more horsepower than a NASCAR at any point. I mean, all of my cars have more horsepower than the track package at Daytona, which is kind of Bluey's mom, Chili, says hello. And Amanda says snow day. Snow day. It's getting cold here. That's why I'm wearing the old hoodie. But we're zoomed out a little bit because I've got some packages, so as to speak. And we'll start with the letters first because this is a card or something maybe that is taped, which means it's probably hard for me to open. Let's see if I can get this, do it the back way. So I hope everybody's doing well. I appreciate everything you guys send. Luna's here. What is this? All right. So it says, Major Lemoyne, thank you for your generous donation to our silent auction that was held at our annual ceremonial review in June of this year. As we are starting our training year for 2024-2025 squadron calendar year, we're excited your donation turned into funds that help us provide quality youth programming to cadets in our squadron. We started our training year in September, and the cadets have already taken part in aviation training, leadership, effective speaking drill team, and the activities. Your generous donation to the silent auction helped raise over $9,000. These funds go directly to training across our chain costs, ensures everyone has a rich experience from their time at 952 WestJet Squadron. None of this would be possible without your support of our squadron. Thank you. We are including a commemorative $2 coin, Royal Canadian Mint for the 100th anniversary. To the collective efforts of sports like you, we continue to make this a successful program. All right. Calgary Air Cadets. Well, I did not. Somebody must have done so in my name because the coin is missing. So I would assume that somebody made a donation using Mover and my PO box, which I'm honored, grateful, and they must have gotten this and then got the coin and sent the rest, which I'm not complaining. It's awesome. I mean, I appreciate you guys thinking about me. It's from Mr. Davis. So thank you for doing that. You didn't have to. Sounds like something cool to support. But yeah. Garrett says, agreed. That's the lore of NASCAR brute strength and a light package. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't. But obviously, I was not able to watch or participate in the ARCA race, which was the highest viewed ARCA race I guess due to Cletus since 2013. It had more viewers than the truck race and maybe close to what Xfinity had. So it's crazy. All right. So this is a package. One of these days I'm going to get anthrax because I never actually open them. Well, some of them I do. Some of them I open beforehand, which we'll talk about here in a second. Because that actually led me down the wrong path. I'll tell you what happened. But this comes from Robert. See what old Robert sent. What could it be? Oh, check that out. That is cool. I like it. Thanks, Robert. Corvette Rob. Look at that. That's a cool hat. Isn't that fun? Thanks, Robert. Appreciate that, man. That's pretty cool. Why's that a note? Sometimes I miss the note. Congrats on the Z06 Mover. Looking forward to your content with it. Hope Luna loves the drop top ride. I just hit 500 miles yesterday, so got to open it up. It's awesome. And Robert sends us cards. So if you're looking for a Corvette, Robert at CorvetteWorldDallas.com is a good place to go. Thanks, Robert. That's cool. This one says Fragile. So hopefully I don't get it wrong. What do we have here? More stuff for the wall. I don't know. Does it have a note? F-16 Viper Sunset. I saw this and thought you'd love it. Hopefully this helps fill the space where your Nightmare Squadron frame currently is. That is awesome. Okay. Nightmare Squadron. Okay. Luna is pretty sure she's getting a treat out of this. She's kind of hanging out over there. Whoa, cool. Tell me how to match the feeling of flight without flying. Match the feeling of the walk out to your jet in the scorching heat, the searing sounds, the sweat-soaked earplugs in your ears. To match the strap in when suddenly you realize this is nothing like the sim you did yesterday. Tell me how to match. I don't know if I'll be able to read all this. This makes me sad. It's from Nick Ditch Supa, F-35 pilot. We won't hold that against him. Being a fat Amy driver. Check that out. Yeah. I am definitely going to need a bigger wall. But that's awesome. Thank you. Who sent this? Kenya Company? JD, is this what you sent so long ago? I think I remember you talking about this. Was that you? That was you. Oh, dude, that's awesome. All right, this next one's awesome, too, because I already opened it because the packaging was so suspect that I had to open it at the post office. I don't know how it survived because it was like, check it. Look at that. It was held together by Scotch tape. So there, by the grace of God, go it. And it actually somehow survived the journey over here. And Luna can smell it. It's from Alec. Check this out, dude. Oh, God. Okay. We got it, Luna. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Luna is hanging out at the door. It's high flight, which is required reading. Somebody didn't know what that was. 2 cards. We'll open the cards here in a second. What's there? More Vipers, which is cool. Luna treats, which now she knows. That's probably why she's here. She's just approached the bench. Hold on. Let's see if we can get the... I don't know if the Luna Cam will work. Oh, Luna Cam won't work for whatever reason. But there's a Luna sitting right here. You can see her ear. There she is. So cool. Thanks, Alec. Let's check out what she said. Oh, this is for Mr. Doug. Can I read Doug's mail? I'm going to read Doug's mail and tell him to watch it. Christmas card for Mr. Doug. Merry Christmas. How long did this take to get here? Doug, hope you have a great Christmas. Keep Mover and Gonky in line. Merry Christmas. Alec, I will pass the words. Thank you, Alec, for that. And then, let's see. Yeah, John, that was awesome. Thank you. And then this one was for Mover. Hope you and Luna have a great Christmas. Only thing prettier than a sunrise and vipers flying at sunrise. Included is a poem about fire pilots. Also, Luna has some treats to stay safe, and Merry Christmas, Alec. Make them tell you now. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you, Alec. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it took so long to get it. When I picked it up, the post office was like, "You're finally here." Oh, Luna, would you like another treat, ma'am? I see an ear. Here we go. There she is. She's a good girl. By the way, the Lunamobile's fixed. I picked it up today. Well, I picked it up today. I don't know if it's fixed, but I picked it up today. So hopefully we're back in business. And so here's the one I've got to apologize for. Eric, not Eric. Let's see. Yeah. Did he go by Eric? Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, Eric. So Eric, as you know, sends me a lot of stuff from Hong Kong. And he must have sent a whole box of stuff in January. And I don't mean he sent the box. Like he sent a bunch of these like 5 or 6 times. And I picked them up when I picked up Alec's gift. And unfortunately, they were in a box that was inadvertently discarded. So, Eric, I apologize for that because I saw them and I looked at them, but they didn't make the show because they were inadvertently in a box, and that's my bad. So I apologize. But this one is new. I picked this up a week or 2 ago, and I say new. I think it was sent. Let's see. It was sent sometime at the end of January, I believe. 1/22/2025. So that's the most recent one. And Eric says, traditionally before the Chinese New Year, people around Hong Kong will try to clean up their home before the Chinese New Year. I will expect the place I work. It's Green at Sai Ying Peng Green. I don't know what that means. A new place of work, Green at Tak Long. Recycling stores and recycling spot streets. I will be very busy during the year. During the period. Wish Mover will continue to do your great work on YouTube plus cop work and continue to have great content on racing. Boy, me too. Fighter jet, aviation, and others. This is the type of card we sent out for the Chinese New Year. We usually use the color red for Chinese New Year as well as wedding or during our happy time. It's also used before the Communist Party take over the mainland China in 1949. Wish you all doing well in 2025. It's great to know about trying out a new device to drive to an F-16, F-18 DCS. Keep up the great work. And it's the first day of the Chinese New Year is 29 January from Eric. So, Eric, I apologize for these other ones, but this one is cool. And the, so DCS stuff, I haven't done any, especially with as someone once put it, the rocking chair, because of, I had some issues with the VR headset the last time I tried it, and it was so disorienting. I've been timid to try it, and then I've been so busy with some other stuff that I just haven't had time to get back and make sure it's working so that I can do some content on it again. But I did get a collective so that I can do some helicopter stuff. So that's awesome. And so Miss Luna Bell would like another Trito, as we know. She deserves all of them. Okay. All right. So that concludes the mail portion. Let's look at what you guys have to say, and we'll wrap it up. We're not going to take all your time today, but I appreciate all the support, and I think it's awesome that you guys are along for the ride. Let's see here. Just in time for my lunch break. Sweet. That's a cool car with an SR71. I like that. Angie's in the right time zone finally. That's cool. She's traveling the world. Aaron says, do you follow Formula? No. The closest I'll get is IMSA, but I will not Formula. Chili says that's the new breaking news cap. I thought about making the helmet the breaking news. A new helmet replaces the lift. Unfortunately, the lift's a great helmet. It's very light, very breathable, but I had the wrong size, and it was too much pressure on my head. I just couldn't do it. But it's a great helmet if you get it size right. If you think you're large, you're probably one size up. That's all I'm gonna say. I guess I have a fat head. I always thought I had a small head, but I got a fat head, so to speak. Let's see. I'm gonna need a bigger wall. Yeah, dude, I'm out of something. Hey, Mover, what's the update on therapy dog stuff? So let's see. Can we let's see if we can do this. That's perfect. Luna, you're the best little wizzo. Yeah. She's mean mugging this bag of treats that she knows is her mail. She's a cutie. We did the last thing we did was with the base, the 403rd, and we're going to probably do some Mardi Gras parades now that the Lunamobile is fixed. So we'll be back in business as long as it operates. So that's the plan, at least. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Did you watch the Dale Jr. download? No, I did not. I saw that it was uploaded, but I have not watched it. So I'm gonna check that out probably later. Hey, Mover, didn't you go to the Museum of Flight in Seattle for Microsoft Flight Sim? How was it? Yes, it is worth it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It's cool to see the Spruce Goose. Garrett says the Mover and Gonky Show videos have been getting a lot of views lately, and the only downside to that are the crazies in comment section. Do you read those comments? Yes. And Wombat, so I guess I have to address this because unironically, people blame me for it, which I had no part in. Hold on, let's do this. Dramatic zoom. So Wombat in the video, and it gets worse when we do clips. When we do clips, things are taken out of context, right? Because you don't see the rest of the show. You guys do because y'all all watch the show, but they don't. They don't see the show, and so in the Toronto clip, and Gonky makes those. I don't do any of the clipping stuff or the thumbnails or any of that stuff on that channel. So Gonky published that, and Wombat said, "For now," when we talked about Canada, because I brought up that it was in Canada because, my whole thing is to stamp out ignorance. No matter, I'm not trying to be political, but people say stupid things, and I like to point them out. For example, in the Toronto thing, one of the first things people came up with was the crashes are a result of the current administration defunding the FAA, which was stupid. And Gonky and I had talked about this prior to the show. It's like, well, that's a dumb statement because it happened in Canada. It has nothing to do with FAA controllers or anything like that. It happened in Canada. And even if it happened in the US, whatever the effects of laying people off, not laying people off, they're not going to have that kind of immediate effect anyway. None of this has anything to do with administration. This has to do with aviation is inherently dangerous, and sometimes things go wrong. And we try to trap errors as best we can, and sometimes we can't. That's what happened in this case. I don't know what the cause will be, but I know that errors weren't trapped, essentially. Something happened. Luckily, everybody survived. Wombat made an offhanded joke about For Now, because they said It's in Canada, Toronto, which is in Canada, and Wombat said for now. He was not endorsing anything about making Canada the 51st state. He wasn't endorsing any ideas of Canada losing their sovereignty or any political stuff. He was making a joke about the absurdity of just the world and the idea that Canada would be the 51st state. The thin-skinned people that don't understand humor is mind-boggling. Like the number of people that came after him and then came after me. Gonky never takes the heat. I do, because they were like, "Hey, Mover, I can't believe like Mover." I didn't say that. Wombat's a grown ass man. If he wants to make a joke, I'm not here to stop him. I'm not here to be the thought police. I'm not here to say he should or shouldn't. I personally did not agree with the joke about go arounds. I know he was joking the whole time, and the only reason I didn't agree with the go around joke is because in a public forum, people take things out of context, as they did with the Canadian thing. And I would hate for somebody to, cry to mom and dad and say, well, this airline guy says he never does go arounds. Even though it was very clear that he was joking, I just think that it's a risky joke in today's environment. I did not really even pay attention when he said for now, because it did okay, I get it. But people get triggered so easily and they get so mad so easily. And I can't tell you the number of comments that said that people were unsubscribing and people were, downvoting, which, by the way, downvoting does nothing. You can downvote all day long. It doesn't change anything. In fact, the algorithm likes it more because it's called engagement. I don't understand how we've gotten to a point where we're this thin skinned, or maybe we've always been like that and the internet's just exposed it. But Wombat is a good dude. Wombat is not hyper political or partisan or stuff. He made a joke, and I want him back on the show. I hope he comes back as much as he wants. I hope people will continue to support him, because I think Wombat is an asset to aviation in this community. And even if he makes, an off-colored joke, or, a joke that's not well received, he's still a good person. And I think we have to give him some grace with stuff like this. So, I mean, any of us could say something dumb that triggers people. I mean, I'm for sure have. I know I have all the time. Zippy says, always look forward to Mailbag Day. The problem is I don't know when Mailbag Day is. So I guess I need to fix that. I honestly do know. I like the matte black. I think it looks Airwolfy. Any update if you're going to ruin the movie Plane? I've been lazy about Mover Ruins movies because, number one, it's so much work, because you got to sit there and watch the whole movie and then edit it down. But number two, it's work with a far down the road payoff because of the copyright stuff. I mean, it can be anywhere from 7 days to 30 days before you find out if the video is going to be published. So sometimes it's hard to justify with other stuff's going on as well. Some people just don't get sarcasm. That's 100% correct. I don't like, they're soft. We're a soft society now. Zippy says, Canadian here, mate. No one takes the 51st state malarkey seriously. Don't sweat it. Same applies for Wombat and Gark. Yeah. That's what I thought. I mean, that's why I didn't, it wasn't like a record scratch in the middle of the thing, because it was just like, yeah, I mean, big deal. Aaron says, heard the same things about DCA crash. Makes me shake my head because it just takes away from the bad that the defunding can do in the future. But to say it cause these crashes is just stupid. Yeah, the DCA thing, I mean, they might have had some staffing issues that contributed. But that's a whole different, that's not immediate funding. That's like a long-term problem. And that's aviation wide, right? Everybody is short manned, which is going to lead to fatigue. It's going to lead to being overworked. It's going to lead to a whole lot of other stuff. There's a lot of factors that play into this. Garrett says, keep up what you guys are doing, because idiots will be idiots. I think I can speak for everyone here. We appreciate what you guys do. Well, I appreciate that, Garrett. Canadian here, bro, says, Dan, we can separate humor from political BS. We appreciate the three of you taking time to break down these. Yeah, and that's my thought, right? Like, I have said things about Canadians very positively. And in that same episode, if the people had watched before they rage quit, Wombat made a point to highlight the professionalism of the helicopter crew that basically risk themselves to go see about the mishap survivors, which thankfully was everybody. He talked about the professionalism of the controllers, the Canadian controllers, the other airline pilots. He said a lot of nice things about Canada in that very video, but nobody, the one negative thing, it just triggers them because probably they're glued to some TV network cable news that's telling them they need to be mad 24/7. It's cancer. It's just cancer. That's all it is. I wish there was a way to skip over the negative comments. Yeah, me too. I had one a day, which is weird, from a C-130 guy that said I should not comment about the Thunderbirds being like a minute early or 30 seconds early or whatever it was, because he'd seen, because I'd posted videos of my own flyovers and there was nothing special about them, which is an interesting topic because I have not posted all of the videos of my flyovers, but I've never been that early or that late. I've been on time a lot, plus or minus 5 seconds, but never been that early or late. And my point was that something else had to have happened for a professional demo team to be that early. And I don't know, somebody else triggered and wanted to get their pot shots in. People love to get their pot shots in. But it's always better than the death threats. The death threats are a little bit much. Plain Rapper says people have very thin skin. Yep, Wombat is great fun. And Wombat, the thing about Wombat is, he's a good dude. He will do anything to help his friends. He will do anything to help the charities and stuff that he supports. He doesn't deserve that. Wombat and Tim the Tornado Brit would be awesome on the show. Yeah, I'd never get to talk. That happened. They'd just be talking. Fortunately, those who have thin skin always project blame, their own sensitivity, and nonsensical word views to ease their own inequities. Yep. I'll never understand military or Leo humor. Yeah. I mean, there's really is when nobody dies. I don't think there is a too soon. And you should see the memes about the Delta thing already. Holy crap. There's a lot. Dustin says, I can't believe this is a conversation. That's the humor the show is built around. The whole idea of joking in the Red Room, sarcastic, unfiltered conversation. I hope Wombat takes it well. Thank you. You on that show, you'll see the comments. And I think that's part of a danger with the clips is people don't get the point, because they'll be like, you guys are just a bunch of clowns. You're not taking this seriously. And it's like, well, no, we're talking about this as 3 fighter pilots bros would in a ready room or squadron bar or anything like that. We are not a cable news network trying to be as dramatic as we possibly can to get clicks and reviews and all that stuff. We are not the NTSB. We're not going to make up our own NTSB. We are not here to analyze. We're just here to explain, do a little breakdown here and there, give our uneducated opinions half the time. Garrett says, if only people could hear jokes we say in the Corps. I don't think people could survive. And this is the new military. Like when I first started, no chance. People too soft. As I'm sure Gonky would say, the small country of Canada got the joke. You would know. I don't think they did, man. I tell you, it's been, yeah. Speaking of Canada-U.S. relations, I loved how he hugged it out during the hockey. Yeah, I mean, we just handle it like we should. No Thunderbird nerds came after me after that segment. I got blocked on Twitter by a photographer who told me that I don't know how flybys are supposed to be done. Even though I said, hey, I've done NASCAR flyovers before. But, and I did talk to Mace a little bit about it, and she was also a little puzzled. But no one has come after me on that, like professionally, except the one Herkadurka C-130 guy. I just hope Wombat doesn't feel he has to censor himself. Yeah, that is always the risk. I mean, Wombat is a dude that takes criticism on board. So, I agree. I don't either. I remember the comment on the water cannon salute for its last flight too. Yeah. People were mad about Gonky's sunglasses. I don't know if they were mad. A lot of people were confused. I think he should make that permanent personally, but you know, you should see the people that on other videos I've done that have gotten mad when I did the hat. Like they got really mad about me wearing a hat. Whew. I'll tell you, people are triggered very easily. But let's see. Do I have anything on the Mover Mailbag? I changed email recently. So let's see. We got somebody talking about flying Route 1 to Route 4 in the helicopter at DCA. He says, Route 1 to Route 4 logs show 876 times, of which I was PIC around 450. We would fly the route at 125 rad out. I would do it at no more than 75 rad out over the roadway. And at night, we did not have MVGs. I would bring up to 100 because of all the lights around the roadways get confusing in the dark. We were both flying for Forbes. I was chief pilot, helicopters, and manager for all our fixed wing. And sometimes we flew into DCA with rental captains as FO. In the winter, it gets dark around the time that the Pat aircraft and other helicopters would be taking people home. It'd be really busy. Of course, it's dark. I'm amazed Pat's crew would keep the bird that high. I never observed that in my time there. We had no avoidance equipment. It was very important to behave, talk to each other. Pat did have VHF normally. Yeah. So what I heard about the VHF was it's a discrete. So they were both on VHF, but one's on VHF for helicopters and one's on VHF for airliner traffic. So that was the amazing breaking news hat. Yeah. And I think the chicks dig it. Just saying. I think the ladies like it. iRacing vid stream. Yeah. As soon as I get off my lazy butt, make sure that the VR headset is fixed and do it. I mean, that is negatively. So the lack of streaming has negatively affected Doug Bucks, right? Because if you remember, the deal was if people bought the DOF reality sim, they were going to match a percentage so that Doug could get his own. And we haven't had any successful orders. So I don't know why. I mean, that's surprising to me, but yeah, I need to do some more. Zippy says, Mover, at least no one claimed the RJ was flipped by an iPad this time, but that crowd generally assumes Tom Cruise is the best pilot. Haven't heard. Oh, yeah, the iPad people. Yeah. Laura says, we do dig it. You're correct. Need a fundraiser for Doug. Well, now, oh, look, Sienna says, yeah, we do dig it. See, there's a chance. And you guys have seen Airwolf, right? Behind me. I talked about it on the last show. It didn't come with a battery. So reached out to the Motion RC folks. I'm like, hey, didn't come with a battery. And luckily, I filmed the unboxing because I want to do a video on it. I bought it for myself for my birthday. And because I want to do a video with it because it's Airwolf and Airwolf's awesome. And there's no battery. So they said they might get batteries at the end of the week and then mail it to me. So probably in the next week or two, I will be able to do the maiden voyage. But in the meantime, I mean, look at that thing. It's awesome. It's amazing. It is larger than expected, so to speak. Oh, God. Okay. So, John, audiobooks. I hate the process. I really do. Because you got to listen to people do auditions and stuff. I found a narrator for Spectre Rising, offered them a contract. I think they got started on it. Because remember, we had the guy that sounded like Thomas the Tank Engine, George Carlin doing an impression of Thomas the Tank Engine. He was terrible. He wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great. I have not, it's just not been in my cross check. I'll be honest with you. But if you guys want to beta read a PDF, send me an email. And I put this out on the Discord as well. cwlemoyne@cwlemoyne.com. And all I need in the email is that, you agree not to redistribute it and that you're going to leave a review. And that's it. And then also, if you want to help me proofread, like if you see something like, hey, dude, hey, dummy, you misspelled this, or there's a typo here, or you put the 3 times, just let me know before we publish. It's going live March 25th. So, yeah, for sure. Just let me know. I changed it to Gulf of America because I don't want people to get triggered, which I'm sure is going to trigger people. So I can't win. But once Google changed it to Gulf of America, my hands are tied. I have to go with what the Google says. So sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm not sorry. Whatever. Everybody's going to be triggered about something. Racing question. What is your opinion on launch controls on cars? I've used it on the ZR1 with a manual transmission. It bogs a little bit because it wants to spin so much. I have not tried launch control yet on the Z06. Like literally, I just hit 500 miles yesterday, and I was driving back from the base and didn't get a chance to stop and do all the stuff. But I mean, I'm more power to you. I'm all about the technology because I love being able to just floor it and go. Like I don't have to worry about all that stuff. I mean, you can always turn it off if you don't like it. But like when I go to the track with a high performance car that I like, I leave the nannies on because I would rather hurt my ego and get saved than hurt the car and be crying about my, 10% deductible for track insurance. Will your Airwolf pick up 747s out of the sea? I hope so. We need to try it. Yeah, those flights between LA and DFW that ended up in the water are always kind of a fun thing. Maybe. Who knows? I can only do with what's published now. Any marine aviators you can get them on the show? No, but I can tell you we have a German Eurofighter pilot that's going to come on the show, the Mover and Donkey show. We're trying to get Mentor Pilot on the show as well to talk about some civilian aviation stuff. I've got some posts coming for the social media ambassador program. So last week I did the C-130 flight with the 815th. So I've got multiple videos coming, non-monetized, not trying to get in trouble or anything, just doing this out of the goodness of my heart as part of the social media thing. But it was an awesome time flying with those folks. Looking forward to telling their story. They don't get a lot of credit because, the Hollywood types are the hurricane hunters because obviously the media loves them. And then they're kind of like the redheaded stepchildren. In fact, they did a flyover over Kansas City, and the subtitle read 815th, home of the hurricane hunters. And it's like, based out of Keesler where the hurricane hunters are. And it's like, oh my God, but I think I did it justice with the video, the first video, the music video. And then also I'm waiting for all the T-38 footage to get approved because I did a flyover, the NASCAR one. I've got a whole bunch of T-38 stuff for this program specifically that is hopefully going to get approved. Finally, 100% throttle. Yeah, I got to be careful though, because I do not want to intentionally break laws and video myself doing so. As you can imagine, that might be a conflict of interest. So probably not going to out myself as a hypocrite anytime soon. Garrett says, would you be open to a Rafale fighter on the show? I know a guy through the Marine Corps that knows a few of them. Sure. Yeah. As long as it's not the one that's in trouble for selling secrets to the Chinese. Probably shouldn't have that dude on the show. But everybody else, yeah. For sure. I mean, we've had Canadians, we've had Brits, we've had everybody. It's all cool. So let's go back to the email, see if I missed any. That was a good email. Let's see here. Get a lot of spam. Andre says, happy birthday from our Slovakian Air Force. Wow, Slovakia, happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate that. I watched your video explaining the NTSB report of the American Eagle Black Hawk midair. You were saying, as I thought that most military aircraft don't have ADS-B. I've seen many reports that the Black Hawk did have ADS-B out installed, but they turned it off. Just wanted to bring this to attention. So no, what I said, so ADS-B, how do I explain this? Mode S, right? So your transponder has multiple modes, and you got mode 3 Charlie, and then you've got mode S, and then you've got ADS-B. So military aircraft, if they've updated, like the T-38, we had this. We got new transponders and we started running with Mode S, which gave us ADS-B out, not in. So the only way we could get in was we had the Stratus pucks, and they would give us the information on ForeFlight like everybody else on our iPad. The helicopter had Mode S turned off and did not have an ADS-B in capability, just the Mode S off, Mode S out, which gave ADS-B. So little different concepts, and I think that confuses a lot of people. There's a guy want to talk about chemtrails, which I'm going to ignore because chemtrails are nonsense. Anders says, I'm a longtime fan of your content. I want to reach out. I've dreamed about becoming a fighter pilot as long as I can remember. I'm seriously looking in the Air National Guard's way to make that happen. Right now I'm a sophomore at University of Miami studying entrepreneurship and AI. I didn't know that was a thing. Currently hold a student pilot's license with 42 hours. I'm also running a business in AI automation. Wow. Which is why I've been debating whether to go full active duty in the Air Force or Navy, or the Guard is a better option balancing both aviation and business. I'd love to hear your advice on the best way to approach pilot selection process. You think it's the most realistic path for someone who wants to pursue flying in business? I know you're busy. I appreciate your thoughts. Dude, if you're doing well with this AI thing, I'd probably go the Jared Isaacman route and get rich and buy your own Air Force, because you're going to have to put all this on hold for at least 3 to 5 years if you get picked up to fly fighters. I mean, it is a full-time job. You're not going to have a lot of time or interest to do anything else but flying fighters and focusing on that. But I mean, best job in the world. So, but yeah, it's not just part 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. Even when you're qualified, you're talking 8 to 10 days a month. And that's, minimum. It's best if you live in the city. Like, if you're in Miami, the Mako is probably not a bad option, but they don't fly much because they've had jet issues. Hopefully they get those fixed. Greetings from Germany. Any plans of doing some helicopter fun with Casmo DCS? You could take the Hind, trying the metric system. I keep telling Casmo we need to do something, but we never have gotten it set up. Maybe once I get the VR and the collective and stuff set up, we'll do that. And let's see what else. Jeff wants to know which book series to start with. 1989 USAFA grad, retires in 05 and 2013. My second career is as an Amtrak locomotive engineer, DC to New York. Also have a master's in aviation safety. I haven't read any of your books. Can you recommend which series to start with? If you like aviation, I'd start with Spectre Horizon, Spectre Origins. If you're just looking for some thrillers and some fun stuff to read, a little intense, Absolute Vengeance. And if you like sci-fi and aviation and action stuff, Project Virtus will be the book for you. It combines all of those. It's everything I've learned about writing plus sci-fi. So I'm learning. Let's see here. A lot of people wanted to email me about this Blackhawk thing. He covered critical factors that stood out to me, widely discussed: field of view limitations, airliners limited downward visibility, helicopters limited upward visibility, closure rate, human reaction time, ATC and TCAS dependent. I don't know. Like I've talked about every time we've covered this, helicopter, night vision goggles, hard to see, probably looking at the wrong aircraft, made no reaction. As of the last data they had, there was no reaction from the helicopter folks. So they were probably looking at the wrong thing up to the point of impact. The RJ was belly up and focusing on stable approach, another airliner taking off cross runway, and probably not knowing specifically that they had traffic that was about to be a major conflict. They saw it at the last second. And, they talked about full deflection and 9 degrees nose up and stuff. And unfortunately, it was too late. So, stuff. Mace will come back to promote her book. I've talked to her about this later this year. but she's always welcome. I like Mace. She's fun. She's got a good take on all the things. And everything else is just spam. People keep sending me. Oh, here we go. I enjoy watching your videos about what makes me a great pilot. I'm sending this email in hopes of receiving some guidance and advice about flying for the Air National Guard. Currently, I'm a mechanical engineer. Expected graduation date in 2026. Aircraft and all things related is my greatest passions. In my opinion, nothing interests me more than being an Air National Guard pilot and serving those around me. I'm in Florida with the 125th Fighter Wing right down the street. It's my goal to receive a UPT slot and fly fighters. I'm having trouble getting in touch with the right people within the unit and was wondering if any advice to get in touch with the unit. So far, I've only been able to get in touch with their recruiter, basically hung up on me. Don't talk to recruiters. I'm sorry, but when you're trying to be a fighter pilot or a pilot, they don't know. They just don't know. Recruiters in the flying world, recruiters are they're getting your package ready, so to speak, for the board and everything after the point you get hired. For getting hired, you need to find out who the hiring official is, whether it's a chief pilot for a heavy unit, whether it's the DO, or there's some lieutenant or captain that's in charge of it. Millrecruiter.com has a lot of good information about this, but you need to find out who that is and email them and submit an application in accordance with what the website tells you to do. Attention to detail is important. Don't cold call people. Do what the website says to do verbatim and apply that way. Find out when they're having a hiring board, rush the unit, all that stuff. What things can I do aside from getting good grades? Pilot slot, pilot's license, flight time, good scores on your AFOQT and TBAS and all that stuff. What should your next steps be? Go to that Mill Recruiter site. Find out when they're having their next hiring board, what they require, and start putting that together and do it verbatim. Don't be extra. Don't do anything less. Do it exactly as they say. It's attention to detail. Do you know any Blue Angels pilots? Gonky does. I don't, because that's the Navy world. I don't know any Blue Angels pilots, but Gonky sure does. Quote for the Mental Health Minute. It's never too late. You can change your routine, your interests, your career, your focus, your circle. You can change. Don't stay stuck. Do better. Mike Tyson. That's literally Mike Tyson, too. It's not even the joke. That's it. That's all the emails I've got. All right, you guys got any more questions before we wrap this up? We're pushing an hour. I think we've covered a lot of ground here today. Mover mailbags are not meant to be all inclusive, but I appreciate you guys as always. Luna's right here. She's taking a nap. I'm about to take her for a run. It's cold. Like, it's cold. Might be too cold for Mover to run. It's supposed to be like in the 20s and 30s. Like, that parade's going to be chilly, but she's a husky. I'm just going to have to wear the old long johns. Luna still works. Luna still wants treats. Yes, that's why she's hanging out there. John says, any thoughts on bringing on some of your Leo helicopter partners to talk about the airship mission? Yes. I don't know who would do that, but that could be something we explore. I need to finish getting qualled. It's been a rough time with weather and maintenance and all that stuff. We finally turned the corner. All I have left is to get night recurrent and to do emergency procedures. And then I should be good to go. So hopefully I'll get some of that next week and then night shortly thereafter. Zippy says, here's one. What do you think about the Marines being the only ones on budget so far? Well, they're used to doing more with less. You know, part of that is the whole use it or lose it mentality, right? We get to the end of the fiscal year and it's like a thrash. It's a disaster because we're so afraid if we don't spend it, we won't have it. And then continuing resolutions have screwed us a lot. It's expensive to fly airplanes. So it's everybody should be within budget. I mean, that should be, but we all should have a budget. And that's the other part is it's Congress's job to make sure we're fully funded. And we got to stop with the, sequestration and continuing resolutions and all that. Just give us the budget and go. Any plans on another car? Or are you set for a while? Dude, I don't know. I'll keep this one. I definitely don't think I'm going to get a Z01 now. The Z06 is awesome. My major complaint about that thing is road noise. It is like you almost need a noise canceling helmet like this one to go drive it on the interstate. And I think it's because of the Cup 2R tires. But dude, it is just like after a while, you're God, yeah, this thing's loud. You can't have a phone conversation, using the Bluetooth. It's just, I don't know. I've been tempted to be like, you know what? Maybe we just go back to having the one car and then go from there. Not gonna lie, after the RJ Toronto crash, his Tropical Gore is a bit apprehensive flying into Yellowknife. A320 XLR is doing cold weather testing here. Aviation's still safe. I know it's a hot button and we see it in the news and there's been more than previously, but it's still a very safe thing to do. Appreciate you, Mover, says Aaron. I'm in Michigan. It was 6 degrees yesterday. Oh, no. You can have that. You can have that. We had our once in a decade or once in a lifetime snow, and we're just going to have to run the water for a little while tonight, and that's about it. But anyway. All right. Well, that'll do it. If you're interested in the book thing, the only thing I'll ask, like I said, make sure you say, hey, I'm not going to redistribute this, because cover our own butts. I'm not going to make you sign NDA, but it'd be nice just to say, hey, I'll be cool about it. And second, write a review. Reviews help, especially on like Amazon and Goodreads and stuff. Now, if you still want to buy the book after, verified reviews help more, but reviews help, especially with a brand new book and science fiction. So anyway, CW Lemoyne, CWLemoyne.com. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your continued support of the channel and the other channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.